It's Monday night, and it's the Get Out There Girls with Got Live. I'm Michelle, and
I'm Tasha.
And tonight we have an amazing panel of guests. First, we have Dean Karnazes, and he's going to be here to talk about ultra running and his amazing NorthFace race series, Endurance Challenge. Rhonda Avery and her husband Scott Garrett are both here joining us. You can say hi.
Hi,
hello. So Rhonda has this amazing documentary coming out called 8% No Limit Project, so she'll talk to you more about it at the end. Scott Garrett is our NorthFace athlete in Ontario. And then finally we have Claire over here, who is our brand new newbie trail runner, and she has loads of questions for Dean. At the end of the show, you're going to get a code for 25% discount to register for the NorthFace race that's happening July 12th and 13th in Collingwood. And a randomly selected viewer who is commenting and asking Dean questions live will get an opportunity to win a case of Rumble drink, which you'll get chocolate and vanilla. So let's moving on. So last year I did the San Fran Trail Race, Dean. As you remember, we met in New York City.
I do.
And so Dean was the facilitator in letting me do this race, and I did it in San Francisco. And by accident and to my surprise, I won the marathon. So now we learned this year that the Trail Series is coming to Canada and to Collingwood specifically in July 12th and 13th. Right? So I'm
excited. I'm very excited. I'm so jazzed for this.
I am too. Well, I'm super excited because I think I'm registered to do the 50K. I have to double check that. And
I'll do the 50K.
I know.
Come on.
So I'm just going to show you why I love the race so much. I'm just going to give you a little preview of. And of course it's not working, sorry. So I had a picture lined up of me winning the race, and we're having some technical difficulties as usual. So let's just get right into Claire asking her questions to Dean about what a newbie trail runner would want to know, and especially going into a race because you are doing the NorthFace race. So why don't you ask him your first question?
Okay, Dean, firstly, huge fan, real honored. I've met you once before at the New York Marathon at the Expo, and just an honor to be speaking to you again. So my first question is, tackling the hills, as a newbie trail runner, what would the one piece of advice you would give? How do you assess the hills? When do you walk? When do you try to run it? And just any general insight.
You know, I always preface any of my answers by saying, listen to everyone, follow no one. So I'll tell you what I do, and I'll tell you what I've seen been done. But I think we're each individual. We each have our strengths and our not so strengths. Mm-hmm. And I personally love the hills. Other people might not be so fond of hills. My guidance is to run when you can, walk when you have to, and crawl if you must. Just don't give up. A lot of the hills that I encountered during some of my races, and you'll probably encounter as well, are so steep, so abrupt that there's a kind of a period of diminishing returns where you're walking basically as fast as you would be shuffling along running anyway. So to kind of not build up too much lactic acid at that point, I would say to walk. Now, if you're wearing a heart rate monitor, you can kind of get a little more scientific about it. You don't want to cross into your LT, as they say, you're beyond your lactic threshold. So you want to keep your heart rate at a level that you're actually your substrate utilization is more burning fats than carbohydrates, and you're accumulating less lactic acid. So me personally, because I've worn a heart rate monitor for so many years, I can kind of tell when I've reached that point and back it on down. But my guidance is if you can run and you think you're going faster running than you would be walking, then do run.
Oh, great, thanks for that. And I'm used to wearing a heart rate monitor when I do my road running, so that's a really good tip, and that's something I can definitely try to utilize. The second question I had was, how important is it to invest in trail runners versus, I know when I first started going out, I've just been wearing my old road runners. Is it worth the investment? And and how much is the best?
Yeah, I would say absolutely it's worth the investment. The reason being is that the tread on the bottom of your shoes matters, especially when you get on the trail. And a road shoe is typically, it has less lugs to grab the trail, and that's problematic both going uphill because you tend to slip more, which is really frustrating when you put one foot forward and you end up sliding back of that same foot. So the lugs will help grab the trail and propel you upward. The downhills too. Downhills are really problematic on trails because a lot of people, when they do their first, ultra or their first trail run, they come to me and they say, "Man, I didn't realize how the downhills would just get to my quads more than the uphills." And if you can't, arrest your fall, so to speak, on the downhills, your feet will slip right out from under you unless you have some good lug, road or trail gripping shoes with some nice lugs on there. So I would absolutely say a good pair of trail shoes is worth the investment, and I would also say that check out the NorthFace shoes. You make some great trail shoes, yeah. Funny you should ask.
I think we're going to be getting to the trail shoe review at the end of this when we cut back, but we will continue.
My next question is, I've gone out for a few runs with Michelle. She's been very kind to bring me out and introduce me to trail running, and I just can't get over how easily she glides with confidence under the most, uneven of surfaces. Do you have to be a daredevil to be a really good trail runner, or does there some level of confidence come with, experience once you've been on the trails for a while?
Don't you just hate her?
a little bit sometimes.
So easy. Come on. I'm surprised you guys are still friends.
We love each other.
I think you definitely gain confidence over time. And someone said something to me a long time ago when I was just learning how to run on trails. He said, trust your feet. When you start second guessing your footfalls, that's when you get into trouble. So your body is pretty quick at intuitively kind of picking the right line and picking your feet up when they need to be lifted a little bit higher. So trust your feet. Confidence comes with experience. So I would also recommend signing up for one of the events coming up in Canada and gain some experience.
I definitely will. And then just my last question. From doing my marathon training on the road, I have quite a specific plan of when I hydrate, when I take on extra nutrition. I'm finding it kind of hard to judge with trail running because each mile could be so different. I mean, mile 1 could be so much more uphill versus mile 2, and I'm finding it hard to judge when I should take on food and drink. Is there any general advice you can give to a newbie like me?
Again, it's listen to everyone, follow no one. Some trail races are there's less aid stations, so there's less frequent aid, and I would say definitely carry something. I would recommend running with a hydration pack just in case you get yourself into trouble and you start getting dehydrated and there's not an aid station coming up. With the NorthFace events, we make it a point that we don't want people to actually be too burdened with carrying stuff, so we have frequent aid stations. And at the very least, I always recommend carrying a water bottle, a handheld. So it really depends on you. It's not like running a road marathon. And the other thing with the trail run is, although the distance between aid stations might be short, depending on the terrain, the hilliness of the terrain, and how technical the terrain is, you might not be able to cover that section that quickly. So I'd always recommend as a backup, at the very least, carry a handheld water bottle, and they typically have a zipper pouch. I would stash a couple, shot blocks or gel packs, whatever you like. I'd stash some of that in the zipper pack, just as backup in case you really start bonking and you still got a ways to go.
Oh, that's great. Thank you very much. I'm very excited to do the NorthFace Challenge in July. Right now I'm just trying to figure out what distance I think I can conquer, but I'm really looking forward to it, and it's been an absolute pleasure chatting with you this evening. Thanks.
Well, we have this slogan at the NorthFace: never stop exploring, and I applaud you for taking a step into the unknown. I can't wait to see you in that starting line, and more importantly, I can't wait to see you cross that finish line.
Thank you.
I'm trying to convince her to do the 50K with me. And then
You're
I'm actually trying to consider 50 Mile with me in San Francisco in December.
Oh, you
What are your thoughts, Claire?
Nothing but trouble. I
Yeah.
don't take her advice.
And don't get involved with me. So I've been getting some tweets about this T-shirt, and I just wanted to show everyone. This is the shirt you actually get, and depending on what distance you do, they'll print it on the day of the race. So you have the logo on the sleeve, but your distance that you actually, I know we're doing one. So that's a couple people on Twitter saying, I really love your shirt. So that's the other great thing about doing this race.
Sierra, can you see my shirt?
Let's see. Oh, look at
matching.
Matchy.
But you know what? This one, let me see if it says where. Yeah. So what's an 80K?
Oh, 80K, there we go.
Only 80K, that's it.
Yeah.
Well, that's essentially a 50 miler. I think 78 kilometers. This is our NorthFace event in Argentina, in the Patagonia range of Argentina. So we have these events across the globe. I know you've done you've done one at least here in the U.S. We have them on 6 continents.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you must be pretty busy with this race that's coming up in July. So do you want to talk a little bit about why you decided to come to Canada and specifically Ontario, and just give us a little rundown of what's going to happen?
Well, you've got good beer, eh?
Oh yeah, that's true.
You know, first and foremost, I love the Canadian spirit. I really enjoy hanging out in Canada. I've traveled quite a bit in Canada. I once did this little race called the Canadian Death Race. I don't know if you know.
Yeah.
125
Best medal ever. You got the medal. I wish you had it with you to show you, because it's actually like a little coin with the skull and crossbones, right?
Exactly, because the Death Reaper comes. The person who does trail sweep is the Death Reaper, so you you want to get in before the cutoff times, or else you're going to get your head sliced.
Yeah.
You know, and I've run quite a bit on the West Coast. I just did the Calgary Marathon, which was their 50th anniversary.
Yep.
Which was terrific. And
again, another great medal, the belt buckle.
It's a great medal, and they also had a commemorative 50K race for the 50th anniversary. Yeah. And what did you get for that? A commemorative beer mug.
No, really? I didn't know that. I was going to do that race, and I got injured, so.
Yeah, but
wow.
I'm just really, really happy to, you know, people have been asking for years, can you get an event up here in Canada? Can you get an event? And it just, you know, the stars were aligned this year, and here we go. You know, another great hero of mine is someone that I just will forever, you know, admire is Terry Fox.
Okay.
I've known his story for years, and it's just one of the most, you know, poignant and amazing. You know, as a guy who's run across America, I've done it, you know, both ways. I've run from the West Coast to the East Coast, and also from the East Coast to the West Coast. And, you know, he tried to run from the East Coast to the West Coast, and I learned something during my experience trying to do that, is you're just into a headwind every single day. It was an incredible headwind because, you know, the winds blow across the country from west to east. And I can't imagine, you know, with his, you know, with what he was running on, the prosthetic he was running on, which was not much of anything back then. It wasn't like what we have now. Into a headwind day after day, how that must have just drained on the poor guy. Yeah. And his effort was just heroic.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. It's an incredible story. Actually, a couple of my aunt got to meet him when I was a kid, so it was really special because I got a bunch of signed posters and books from him, and I cherish those with my life. So. Yeah,
I'm sure.
So moving along, so I wanted to, is there anything else that you wanted to talk about? The race, the course, elevation, difficulty level?
What to expect?
Well, it's going to be a challenging course. It won't be our most challenging course, but as far as, you know, you can never discount running a distance that people are going to run. So, you know, I think it's such an oxymoron to say, you know, it's going to be an easy marathon or an easy 50K. I mean, there's no such thing as, I don't care if it's dead flat. It's not easy what you're doing.
Yeah.
It's pretty runnable. The trails are not super technical. So as far as you know, a first trail run, it's a really good, approachable first trail run. I think you have a great experience your first time around.
Rhonda, you have a question for Dean?
How did you know?
I don't know. I think that little birdie told me.
Dean, it's wonderful to meet you, even if it's from afar. Has Michelle told you a little bit about the Bruce Trail that I'm running this summer in August?
She mentioned it, yeah.
If you're around, I would love to have you join us for a day.
If I can make it work, I'd love to join you for more than a day.
Wonderful.
That's incredible, yeah.
So why don't you just explain while you're here, Rhonda, to Dean exactly the route that you're going to be doing, the Bruce Trail. You're doing the entire Bruce Trail in 20 days, right?
In 20 days. So the Bruce Trail is Canada's oldest and longest footpath. It starts up in Tobermory, and it is 885 kilometers in length, running down into Niagara, St. Catharines. And I guess I am doing this with 8% vision to try and create awareness for disabled athletes. So, you know, to have trail runners like yourself, Dean, to come out and sort of see how that works as a guide runner would be just wonderful.
If I can make it work, I'm going to, because it sounds like an incredible endeavor, and what a beautiful route to choose.
A beautiful or challenging.
Challenging.
I don't know. Dean, I don't know if you've ever run the Bruce Trail at all, but there's some parts that it's just gnarly, and I'm so impressed by Rhonda and what she's about to do.
I'm liking this even more the more I learn about it.
Yeah, you should definitely. Well, I think you'll hit some of it when you're up in Barrie, but
the Collingwood race is on the Bruce.
What is your what are you planning on covering a day? Like, what will be your average mileage be per day?
45 kilometers.
A marathon distance, basically.
Yeah, marathon.
Yeah. And
That's very inspiring.
And Rhonda, you're going to be doing, you might have to do most of it in the evening or twilight sort of hours, right?
I call it stupid o'clock.
Stupid.
Maybe
Yeah,
4 a.m. or 5 a.m.
Because of the heat?
I
No.
see better my vision is such that I see better when the light is dim or overcast.
Can you wear any sort of corrective lenses on eyewear?
Hey.
I mean, that's a question.
I do, yes. They don't help beyond my 8% vision. That's all they give me.
I got it. You're
Yeah,
amazing.
that's kind of an incredible story.
I've got my Washington shirt here, Dean. I don't know if you remember our little photo op and that, but I've also just about finished my article for Trail Running Canada that we spoke of, so I'll certainly let you know via Twitter when that's available as well.
I appreciate it. I look forward to reading it.
So, Dean, I know that you are really busy, so I don't know how much more time you have left with us, and I just wanted to give you an opportunity to share any other wisdom of the trails or wisdom of your races before you have to jet off because you're on a tight schedule.
Yeah, I'll just say that.
And I think he's gone.
Yeah.
And he's back. Oh, there he's back.
There he is.
He came back.
I'll just sign off by saying, I just applaud anyone who has the courage to go out there and stand on that starting line. I don't care if it's a 5K or a 50 miler. Just be the best you that you can be, and you're not racing against anyone except yourself. It's you versus you. I just say you're a complete champion to go out there and give it a go. And whether you're one of the elite runners who crosses the finish line first, or whether you're kind of one of the sub-elite and you come through right before the race actually closes, we all cross that same finish line. So I look forward to seeing you in Canada in a few weeks, and good luck with your training.
So just to remind everyone, the race is on July 12th and 13th. And you can actually pick up your race bibs at the NorthFace store on Bloor Street in Toronto on Friday, and then your race kits can be picked up in Collingwood on Saturday and Sunday for those that are starting on the Sunday races. So, Dean, you might want to just explain, because there's a lot of people who aren't familiar with this race, which distances are you offering?
Yeah, that's a good point. I should back up and say we have everything from a 5K to a 10K to a half marathon. Again, they're all on trails, and those races are on Sunday. On Saturday, we offer a 50-mile run, a 50-kilometer run, a full marathon, and then a marathon relay, which are teams of 4. And then we have my favorite race of all. We have the Karno Kids 1K. So we have a 1K race with the kids.
Yeah, that's my favorite as well, actually. Okay, so I think we were going to just show a quick little video of the NorthFace race, just a recap of what it looks like, what you can expect if you were to race it. And then probably when we get back, Mr. Dean will be gone. So we'll see you in July up in Collingwood.
Yep, thank you. See you then.
Thanks, see you.
Okay.
And here we go.
NorthFace Endurance Challenge started like 8 years ago. We started with 4 markets and then quickly expanded to 6 to go to New York, Washington, D.C., Toronto, Wisconsin, San Francisco, and Utah. Worldwide, we're definitely the largest trail racing series in the world. On Saturday, we're going to do a 50-mile, a 50K, a marathon, and a marathon relay. And then Sunday, we'll do the half marathon, a 10K, and the 5K.
We ran up and down hills. I think I ran through a riverbed. Well, it was pretty, yeah, it was very different from like normal city races.
This course is actually amazingly challenging. It was muddy and wet and loose and rocky, and I like that kind of stuff because it really keeps you engaged and interested, and it was super fun.
You know, you get all levels, and that's the beauty of this event. You know, you got people that are still out there, you know, even in the 50, you got people that are going to be coming in at 14 hours. And I mean, you got to respect that. You know, they're running just as hard as we are.
This is my first time, and I love it. I feel totally energized. It's totally different from running in the city on the concrete. Like, running in concrete absorbs your energy. Running on the mountain and, like, on the grass sort of feeds you.
I've run a lot of races, dog triathlons, always out in the woods. Just ran up there. I like it. I'll do it again.
This was by far the most technical running I've ever done. I liked everything about it. I like the people, I like the trails, I like
Anyone who crossed that finish line, I bow to you. It was definitely a hard-fought battle and well earned every single step of the way. So congratulations to everyone who finished.
All right, so that's one of the reasons why I love the NorthFace race so much, and I think I'm going to throw it over to Tasha now.
And Rory Bozio, who is actually talking in that video, she's wearing one of my favorite shirts. Everyone's been talking about the new NorthFace Nearly Naked clothing line. And I have had the opportunity to wear the jacket and the capris and the shirt, and I have nothing but good things to say about it. I'm wearing the jacket right now, actually. See it? It has a really nice compressive feel. It's meant to fit like a second skin. So it feels like you're not even wearing anything at all. It's great in the wind. It's super lightweight. It has a zipper pocket right here, which you can put your headphones in it for running. It's reflective, and it's stitch-free so that you don't feel that chafing. So I have absolutely loved this. And it's got a lot of ventilation all along the arms, under the armpits, and everything. So it's a great shirt for running or cycling or just hiking or pretty much anything. I also, you can't really see them, but
you're wearing a capris.
The capris right here. They're they're super awesome. They again are super lightweight. They're compressive. They have ventilation behind the knees. I don't know about any of you guys or about you, Michelle, but sometimes when I'm running, you kind of get that sweat behind the knees, and you take them off and they're soaked. But these ones have a really good ventilation system. They're reflective. They again have that anti-chafing, so you can't even feel the stitching in the pants. And it's got a rear zip pocket where I usually keep either some money or a gel. So they're awesome. And another good thing about these is that, I don't know about you guys, but when I run, I've had the experience of my capris or even my shorts like starting to ride down.
I was just going to ask you this question,
to ride down, but these, they, because of that compressive feel, I've noticed that.
And it's also because of that, the ventilation in the back and around the knee. It gaps, it doesn't pull, it lets your knees work the way they're supposed to work. So
because there's nothing worse than running and having to constantly be pulling up your capris. So these have been awesome for that, and really reflective, really lightweight. And the shirt that Roy was wearing is really awesome too. It's got all the same properties. Super light, don't even feel like you're wearing it. So I've got nothing but good things to say. So it's been a really, really good experience. And
so when are you going to hit your first trail with us?
Oh dear, I'm hoping in July.
Right.
It's July 9th.
Yep, that's a different series. So Scott, have you tried the nearly naked stuff yet?
I have.
What do you think?
I like it too. I have the same coat. Mine's not pink. Mine is yellow. It is a great coat in the morning, especially like Rhonda said, at stupid o'clock. You get started, it's still a bit cool. I find that it folds up nicely and it goes in your pack when the sun starts to come out and it gets a bit warmer, so that's good. My two favorite things are the Flight Series NorthFace shorts. They're a short with compression beneath the short. So it's built right in, and I find that some of the compression shorts I've had that come right down almost to the knee were too long, and the NorthFace ones are 2 or 3 or 4 inches above the knee, so it's perfect length. And I also like that they've taken a page from the cyclist jersey. They put the 2 mesh pockets in the back of the short, as well as the zippered pocket, so you can put the gels to the left and the right, and your debit card or a key or something like that in the center zip pocket. So that's pretty awesome.
I know you also run in the Ultra Trail running shoe, which is like this is the female version of it.
That's right.
So I wanted to get your thoughts on what you like. I particularly find the bottoms of these kind of interesting, because it's a Vibram. They've teamed up with Vibram, and they've created a Vibram sole and giving you all the great benefits of a NorthFace shoe. But you have more experience with this NorthFace shoe than I do, so.
Well, I do like it. A couple of things. First of all, it's super lightweight. I've tried probably 3 or 4 other manufacturers. This is by far the lightest trail shoe that I've ever had. I think it's 240 or 245 grams per shoe. That's maybe about 50 grams less than some of the competitors. So I definitely like that. They use what they call as a cradle guide technology. So the midsole and the sort of the upper top of your foot where the laces tie. You can see if you hold yours up again, Michelle, the zigzags on the side of the shoe. That helps to lock the midfoot and midsole nicely, so that helps going downhill. You don't get the shoe, your toes bouncing into the end of the shoe and damaging toenails or hurting toes.
Yeah, I was going to say that's a really good one for preventing the black toe. Yeah. How many black toes do you have, though?
Well, if I had 10 nails, I'd probably have 10 black toes, but I'd say on a good day maybe 6 black toenails and 4 missing. So, but
What you have to look forward to, Claire? Black toenails.
Yay.
No, get the North Face shoe. You don't get the toe jam into the end like some of the other ones I've tried. It is a neutral shoe, so if you're a pronator or a supinator, you may not want to go with the Ultra or the Glide. There's a couple of other models, but that one is neutral. I find that's not as important trail running as it would be, say, road running, simply because the footfalls are so varying and they're so much different. The shoe has an 8mm drop, which is kind of normal and I think lends itself well to a heel striker. I think most trail runners probably are heel strikers. I haven't seen too many toe runners on trail.
Yeah, this one right here. Yes. She would be your first.
You'll be a heel striker soon.
That's what we're trying to fix, is how to get Claire to get off her toes and sort of back into a normal gait. So there you go, Claire, maybe.
Yeah.
Your calves won't take 50K of toe running, I don't think. The other thing about the shoe is they use what they call flash dry technology. I find with a good pair of Gore-Tex socks or Drymax type socks, any water, if you're in a creek crossing or in the rain, they do drain and air quite nicely. So that's my favorite combination is a Drymax sock and the North Face shoe. So keeps me comfortable, eliminates the blisters as well as any combination I've tried. So I definitely think that's the way to go.
Okay, I'm sorry. I don't know if everybody can hear the annoying neighbor dog barking in the background, so I'm apologizing for my neighbor's dog. But that was actually really thorough explanation of the shoe. Tasha has some.
Scott, I just had a question for you. How many North Face races have you done?
I've done 2 this year. I went to New York and to Washington. I'm signed up for the 50 mile in Collingwood and the 50 mile in San Francisco. I have to miss Wisconsin and Utah.
Wow, that's quite inspiring.
Do you think you're going to be able to do every single one in the series one day?
They'll definitely be bucket list runs for sure. I have some goals and that for 2014 that might not get me to those events, but we'll see how things go. You never know when you're looking for a filler. And I love to drive, so Wisconsin's not that far.
Oh, that's true.
And what is it about trail running that you're so passionate about? Like, what is it what does it do for you?
Well, I'm a small business owner, and what trail running is to me is a great place to think and gather thoughts and, hear as corny as it sounds, the animals, the birds, that sort of thing, the running water. To me, it's so much better than a passing car or a cyclist or the sound of a train. You're out in the middle. Sometimes the best thing about a trail run is getting lost and being out there for an hour longer than you were probably planning on being. Coming home and finding dinner on the stove and Rhonda nowhere to be found and sound asleep. And I've done that recently.
Well, I couldn't agree more, because I know so many people that they can't run without using headphones. And I myself, I never put my headphones on when I run because I just like to actually hear what's going on around me. And it's all for safety reasons as well.
Yeah.
So I definitely can relate to what you're saying, and I think that's great. So good luck in all of your upcoming trail races.
Yeah, and I just want to go back to Rhonda for just a couple of minutes because I want her to share with us her project. Just a little teaser, Rhonda, because we're going to bring you back on the show closer to your Bruce Trail run. But just tell us, I've created some bit.ly links for her, so just tell us about Envisions.
So I've teamed up with Achilles Canada. Achilles Canada is a group, a nonprofit organization that helps disabled people to run through their disability teaches us, you know, the same things that you would learn, like start with a minute walking and a minute running, and how to do your heart rate training, or go on a trail if you want to, or just to think past all of the boundaries that we've been taught are pretty acceptable and normal, and to challenge yourself so that they don't have a very basic spectrum of disability. It's really broad. It's a lot of things that you know about or don't know about. Vision is just one of them. I honestly think that people, when you think about a sport, they don't think about someone who's disabled. Like the Terry Fox is sort of the pinnacle of that, or your para athletes, they're there, but the weekend warrior is usually missed. So I've teamed up with Achilles Canada to help raise awareness for disabled athletes and in general, and just to show that we're out there and we're trying and we're stepping one foot at a time too and trying to take part.
Okay, so I did have a little logo, but we're having some problems over here with our lower thirds. Yeah, they're not working. So basically, I created. Yeah, it's not really going super smooth, but I created a bit.ly link for you. It's bit.ly.com/envisions, ENVISIONS. So if you go to bit.ly.com/envisions, you'll learn more about Rhonda's Envision project. And the other one is her 8% No Limit, which is her documentary. So I've been running into Rhonda at various events over the last, 6 months, I guess, and there's this woman that keeps following you around with the camera. And so tell us a little bit about what she's doing and why.
So Lisa is a friend that was introduced to me so I'm a Solomon ambassador, and one of the other ambassadors introduced me to Lisa, who is from Telling Tales, and she is producing this feature-length documentary, and she calls it 8% No Limit. And you can go online, 8%nolimit.com, and watch the trailer for that. So she's following the journey of the Bruce Trail from beginning to end, and part of that, as you've been noticing, is that she'll come to different events like the 5 Peaks there a few weeks ago, and to sort of see what it takes to be a guide runner, to be part of this big endeavor, because there are over 50 volunteers to make this 20-day adventure happen, and just to follow it through, and it should be a rather interesting thing when it's all said and done.
And you are letting people like us come and join you along the way, and we can learn your route, and we're allowed to kind of pop in and pop out, or are there specific places where you would prefer people to join you?
So the guide running is all taken care of, but anyone is welcome to join us at any day, and you can follow us online. We are everywhere. The Envisions has a GoFundMe site. We have a Facebook group. We're online on Twitter, Envisions 2014, I think that's what that is. We also you can follow along with the documentary. They might put up some links there too. The only day that's a little bit special, so you can just come out and run with us anytime you want, but the last day we're hoping that everyone will come out and run the last 5 kilometers of the trail with us. So that information about that and where to be and at what time will be a little bit more available as time goes on. But that's the big day. We're hoping to end with a barbecue and a big celebration in Queenston Heights there, and just get everyone together to be part of this and to share in the journey of what it takes to reach beyond your normal to take part. As being out there is most important.
Yeah, I totally agree. But I think it's amazing what you're doing, and I see you all the time, and we're always chatting about where you are and what you're doing. So I'm definitely going to be following you, and I will be there for some of the running.
Excellent.
Tasha, come on and join as well.
I'd love to be there for that
Claire,
last 5K.
What about you, Claire?
I think I could be persuaded.
Yes, with Peter, your other running buddy.
Yeah, absolutely.
So everyone who's watching today, and then obviously will be watching throughout if they missed it, and they can catch the show on the rerun. If you use the code GOTCHAT25, you'll get 25% off the race registration for the July 12th and 13th race up in Collingwood for the NorthFace race. So
and
share.
Michelle, is that for every distance?
Yes, that's for any distance, both days. Just get your registration in as soon as possible, because you never know which distances are going to sell out first. And then we're also going to randomly give away a case of Rumble Drink. Rumble Drink is now my new favorite recovery drink. You have tried it. What do you think?
I really like it because it has kale in it.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, when they hear kale, they turn their nose up and they're like, oh, like I don't, they don't like the taste of it. But you don't even notice it in here, and kale has so many benefits for you and for your body. And it's just the flavor is good. It's very filling. You can have it, and for hours you won't need to refuel, which I really like about it. And you can reseal it, which is great.
And keep it in the fridge. I know Claire's been a big fan.
Absolutely, and so much so that it's actually caused arguments in our house over who gets the last bottle.
I know, I've been seeing lots of tweets. People have to put like a lock on their fridge because the roommates are feeling quite funny. So I guess we're going to say goodbye to our amazing guests. I don't know if anyone's noticed, there's been this little creepy guy here, and his name is Paul, and he was actually helping us to mediate a little bit. We were having a little bit of technical difficulties today, just getting everybody linked in. Usually we don't have this many people on the panel, so Paul's decided just to stay quiet today. But thank you, Paul, for being here. Do you have anything you want to ask Scott about the North? So, Scott, Paul is going to be here to do the NorthFace race in July. He's a little bit nervous because he thinks it's going to be pretty technical, but I don't know. You can ask a question to Scott because he's pretty familiar with the terrain.
Yeah, I'm just looking forward to getting back into trail running. It's been a long time. I raced cross country in high school 20 years ago. And this is my first foray back into trail running. So it's a bit of a road trip and an adventure for sure.
Where are you coming from?
From New Brunswick.
Oh, awesome. We'll look forward to seeing you there.
Yeah.
I'll make sure I look for you and introduce myself in person. In terms of the course, I think you'll like it. The trail does travel across the top of the escarpment, so some excellent vista from the top of the hill. I wish I could tell you that getting up the ski hill is going to be fun. It's gonna suck, but once you get there, I think you'll agree that it was worth the journey to the top a couple of times. Luckily, the folks at NorthFace are going to take us up and bring us back down a couple of times in the event, and I'm really looking forward to that. But it's beautiful. You'll be able to see for miles.
Yeah, I'm definitely treating it as more of an experience than a race this time around.
Well, get out there and walk and run up your local hills a couple of times.
Yeah, I'm
doing my best.
Sorry, what did you say, Paul?
I said I'm doing my best.
Yeah. I'm going to be starting my my hill running pretty soon in a couple of weeks, actually. So
I better join you one of these days.
Yeah,
I need to do some hill training.
We call it the Boston Special.
Yeah, we're going to start a hill running group in Mono Mills, Michelle. You're in.
Okay, I'm coming. I love hills. I love them a lot. Okay, so thank you to our entire panel, and sorry for some of the technical difficulties we all shared. But
it's a work in progress.
It's a work in progress, and we're all...
We'll get there.
Yes, and in closing for today's show, I just wanted to let everyone know next week I'm going to be in Chicago, where I'm going to be live from the women's running event. And so I get to sneak peek at all of the new products that are coming out that are going to be just for women. So I'm going to be live from there. So Tasha's going to be here in Toronto. I'll be in Chicago. And joining us is going to be two very special guests that we're both really excited about. Yep. So my special guest is Krista Duchesne, and as everyone should know if you're Canadian, that she's our second fastest female marathoner in Canada, and just coming off of her injury. So she's going to be joining us. And your guest?
My special guest is going to be Amber Pierce. She is a women's pro cyclist racing for Optum, and she's been a role model for me for a little while. So really excited to have both of these guests come on.
Yeah. So basically the topic is going to be women in sports, the pros and cons of having women-only races, and just in general the difference between being a female competitor as opposed to a male competitor.
Some of the challenges that they face, and some of the benefits and the pros and cons of it.
Yeah, we train differently than our counterparts. So I wanted to just say a big shout out to Krista Duchesne for having successfully done her first trail or treadmill. I think she did a couple minutes on the treadmill this weekend. She's 5 weeks post injury and she's recovering really well. So I'm rooting for her and thinking lots about her.
Awesome.
Yep. And what else?
So just
race.
a little update. So I've been training for a little while. This will be my third year doing Centurion Horseshoe. There's actually 2 events that go on with Centurion. There's Centurion Horseshoe and Centurion Blue Mountain. And I'm going to be doing 120 kilometers up in Collingwood. And it's an event where thousands of people come out and you get the opportunity to charge it up hills. You get to go down some really nice descents. The support is amazing. And it's just an event where for the past 3 years I've been trying to challenge myself to, I came in third my first year for my age group, second for my last year, and I'm hoping to do first for my age group this year. So.
And you're going to take lots of pictures for us?
I'll take tons of pictures and I'll see if I can get some footage.
Yes.
If you guys really are looking for something fun to do, it's next Sunday. There's still lots of time to sign up. So it's so much fun. You don't have to do the 120.
I know you don't have to race.
There's other distances as well.
I know I've never done the event. I've always wanted to, but there is like a competitive component and a very non-competitive.
Yeah, there's different corrals. So the racers would line up at the front, and there's serious enthusiasts, people that just want to go out and have fun. So you line up it based on the category of racing that you want to do. Okay. And some people just do it just to have fun and get out there. So I think...
I wish I could do it, but I'm going to be doing a race. Are you doing the race on Saturday, Rhonda?
The race on Saturday. Is this... The Solstice Run is where I will be, in Toronto at the Solomon store. But there is a 5 Peaks on Saturday before that, I think, right?
Yeah. So I'm racing the 5 Peaks. Rhonda's doing the Solstice. Claire's doing the 5 Peaks. Tasha's doing the Centurion Ride. There's lots of events to do this weekend. Paul, are you doing anything, or are you just going to be hanging out on YouTube?
This weekend coming up, I've got a 5K in the Miramichi. It's part of the New Brunswick series.
Oh, there you go.
Wow.
So everyone's racing, and everyone have a really great week.
We're praying for good weather.
Praying for good
everywhere.
Weather. Everywhere.
No, we want rain. Lots and lots of rain. Then
no rain.
See, the trail runners, we want rain. Cyclists don't want rain.
No.
Unfortunately, I think we're going to get rain.
No.
That's what it says.
We can't get rain.
Well,
because you know what? I did Centurion 2 years ago in the pouring rain. We don't want to repeat. Actually, no. Last year it rained.
Yeah,
so this year it can't rain.
Well, we can't control the weather. So next week, come and join us again Monday at 8 p.m.
Eastern Time.
Standard Time. We have to keep reminding everybody that. Or as Paul likes to call it, center of the universe time. And Krista Duchesne and Amber Pierce. And signing off, I'm Michelle Clark and
Tasha Pasiga.
And we're the Get Out There Girls for Got Live.